Welcome, brave souls. If the thrill of the uncanny calls to you, ensure you don't miss a single spine-chilling tale. Hit that like button, subscribe, and make sure your notifications are on. Yearning for more? Our Patreon offers deeper journeys into the heart of darkness. Find the link lurking in the description below. Now gather your courage. It's time to embrace the shadows.
Copy that, Echo. Proceed with caution. 10-4.
It was a bright, sunny day, the kind where the sun sparkles on the water's surface, and it's impossible not to feel invincible. The ship was a day out from any land, surrounded by miles and miles of unending ocean. Being out there, in the middle of the ocean, you'd think it would feel serene and calming, right? Yeah, I thought so too. That night, everything seemed normal, just like any other evening on the cruise. The orchestra was playing some jazzy number in the grand hall, and the aroma of delectable seafood wafted in from the dining room. But something felt off. There was an odd sense of anticipation hanging in the air. I brushed it off as just my imagination. As the night wore on, the ship began to creak in a way it hadn't before. Imagine, if you will, being on a ship in the middle of the sea, and it starts making unfamiliar sounds. The kind of sounds that aren't part of the usual shipboard symphony of engine hums, water laps, and general chatter. It was unsettling. At first it was easy to dismiss. Ships creak, after all. But then, the ship started to sway. Now, I don't mean the usual gentle rock you feel on the ocean. It was a sudden, violent jerk, enough to send your heart into your throat. The previously carefree passengers glanced at each other nervously. The crew tried to calm us down, saying it was just an unusually large wave. But their eyes were worried, scared even. Around midnight, the power went out. A ship-wide blackout. Just like that, we were plunged into darkness. The only light came from the moon, casting long, eerie shadows through the windows. The laughter and music that had once filled the air were replaced by a deafening silence, broken only by the creaks and groans of the ship. It wasn't long before the murmurs began. Stories about sea monsters from the deep, ghost ships, the Bermuda Triangle. All sorts of nonsense, right? But out there, in the dark and isolated on the ocean, those stories didn't seem so ridiculous. The sense of isolation was chilling. There we were, a tiny island of humanity surrounded by an endless, deep, and alien world. Through the rest of the night, the ship continued to sway. It felt like something was pushing us, toying with us. The unease grew with every lurch. The crew couldn't explain what was happening. Their feeble attempts to reassure us fell on deaf ears. There was a sense of impending doom. It was palpable. As dawn broke, we saw the cause of our terror. There, not far from the ship, a giant creature was surfacing, something colossal, a creature from the depths of our nightmares. Its sheer size dwarfed our ship, a leviathan from the abyss. The sight of it was enough to freeze your blood. And then, as quickly as it surfaced, it disappeared, leaving only the disturbed water as a reminder of its existence. The power flickered back on, and the ship steadied itself. The relief was indescribable, but the terror of the night before was still as fresh as a raw wound. That cruise was a stark reminder of how small we really are. Out there, on the open ocean, we were visitors in a world not ours, at the mercy of the vast and unknowable depths beneath. I'll tell you this, nothing feels quite the same after an experience like that. The ocean's no longer just a beautiful expanse of blue. It's a reminder of the unknown, the unexplored, the terrifying, and sometimes ignorance truly is bliss. And that concludes this episode of Sinister Stories. Make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Feel free to comment down below. And if you are so kind, support me on Patreon. And as always, thanks for watching.